we can come together and we could do great things. But it's really about that right partnership.
Okay.
The wrong people can kill a project, but the right people can make that project happen, right? We did a lot of trades mission out to Whitehorse, and we went and we looked at the Teslin project to kind of get my leadership on board to what community scale biomass actually look like for the district heating and energy components. And now we're going to be implementing that in our housing within our community.
So now you're part of this community, but I have to be honest, and we're doing real interviews here, I do notice that there isn't a significant representation of First Nations at scaling up. There has been over the years, and there's obviously an acknowledgement that starts today, which is a good start. What can we do more to bring in more First Nation participations, not just in this conference, but in the industry?
For me, I think that perhaps marketing it a little bit more to the First Nation communities, and maybe a geographic specific to what are those communities that are doing not only community scale, but in industry scale projects within the space, and bringing them in some sort of fashion to this conference so that they can get exposure to the things that me and my counterparts have seen throughout the years. I think that maybe for First Nations, they tend to think scaling up is a little bit more geared towards industry. Mm-hmm. And I feel it's not. And I've made a lot of good connections and collaborations throughout the years here. So I think maybe if we get it out there a little bit more, kind of explain a little more to the community leaders what this is and how it will help their communities. Because, in Northwestern Ontario, specifically where I'm from, there is a lot of biomass. We have a lot of feedstock. We have a lot of incidental harvests. We have a lot of byproducts in our forest that we could utilize instead of seeing, those burns that they do. We could capture that and use that to, power and heat our communities.
Right.
So I think it's just about really getting them here to understand the space a little bit more like how I do.
Yeah. And I know the Indigenous community in Canada isn't monolithic. It's not only one block with one kind of needs. It's very diverse, as diverse as this country is large, let's say.
Yeah.
But if you were to try to sort of synthesize what the needs are of First Nation communities in Canada within the realm of the bioeconomy, how would you articulate that?
So their needs would be to have the support, not only financially, but information-wise, to understand what they can actually do with the feedstock that they can see lying around in their territories, right?
Opportunities, basically.
Yeah. So and on the Indigenous clean energy level, if it wasn't for Chris Henderson, a lot of us wouldn't know what we know to have the ability to move forward and look for the direction we need to go to. Is NRCan got a program that can help us? Does FedNor have a program that can help us? And then to kind of open up those doors and let them walk in to see the possibilities for themselves, not only for, industry or whatever, right? So for communities to understand that this space essentially, in a way, is also made for them.
Canada's also seen issues around, market access, around consent, around kind of rights and territorial rights in Canada. And it's complicated, so we're not going to go to try to explain that. But I wonder how, this industry, which inherently is where the nature is you could say decentralized. It's not all just in Ottawa or Calgary or Vancouver. I wonder how that plays out. How do you say, how do you think this industry could find ways to collaborate, but also even to empower First Nations?
Well, you said it right there. That's a very good word, to empower, but not only to empower them, but to walk hand in hand with them, be a true partner. Really listen to the needs of the community, because on our lands there's quite a bit of opportunity in the biomass, in the economy space, right? So
yeah, because you're there.
Yeah,
very often.
Yeah, and to find that for industry. We have our biochar project, like I was mentioning to you. Mm-hmm. And to find the right partnership is all we really needed. And to have the right champion, like our forester, Scott Rubin, he was relentless. And he went here and he went there and he, found all the pieces that we actually needed to move forward with that, not only economic reconciliation, but for economic sovereignty, because that will benefit the communities in a different way than, say, like a community scale project where you're just utilizing that to like have cheaper heat and power for your people, right? So I feel that the more they try and the more that we try, we can come together and we could do great things. But it's really about that right partnership.
Okay.
The wrong people can kill a project, but the right people can make that project happen, right? So
yeah, very nice. There was almost a little rhyme there. Break or make or break. Finally, I kind of want to ask you, we're in a particular context right now as a nation because of, and I mean as Canada, as a country, because of course, the trade relationship with the U.S., which is significantly diminished or even tarnished, you could say.
Yeah.
How do Indigenous communities look at that situation, and perhaps what wisdom would they, I guess, put forward as a way to deal with it?
Oh, that's a tricky question there, Will. For me, the way I see it is like for First Nations, I don't really think the relation with the U.S. is the same as it is when you hear industry talking about it.
Sure. Interesting.
But at the same time, they bought a lot of our wood and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So it does, like, because we manage our own forests, so it does slow down like the profits that are coming into that industry, not having that relationship
Which are
strong still
directly.
But like they say, let's make Canada strong and figure out that way. Like, we might be small, but we're mighty. And I think that the more the U.S. closes himself off to them, it might open opportunities for us in other areas, right?
Very interesting. Yes, of course. And the federal government and Carney specifically has talked about, buying Canadian and supporting each other and all that. So that will play into that that narrative. Yeah. Thank you very much, Kyla.
Yes.
Pleasure chatting with you as always.
As always.